The new channel. The new channel. Hashtag tncnow.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following shows are those of the host, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel. Our passion transforms a community channel that sees all things new. I am Jennifer Nuya, streaming from Cavite, Philippines. You're watching Stories from the Fringe, Season 1, Episode 7. Please let me know that you can hear me well by typing into the chat box where you are watching us, where you are chiming in, and what interests you the most for today. You can also drop in your into the chat box your comments or anything that you would like to share with us. For those who are tuning in to our channel for the first time, Stories from the Fringe is a platform that aims to push uncomfortable topics around diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging from the fringe to the front and center of our conversations. We aim to push and celebrate, empower individual differences like class, gender, ability, among others. And we believe that we can be a part of this collective vision. In order to make the most of our time together, we encourage you to be fully engaged and immersed with our guest today, Tiosejo. And how do we do that? Please prepare to take off or turn off all distractions and prepare to take mental notes or written notes. We are so glad that you have decided to join us today. Today, I'm delighted to welcome to our show Tiosejo. Kali.
Happy morning, TNC subscribers. And also, I want to welcome everyone and thank you, Enya, for guesting me this morning.
Awesome. Kali, can you please provide our viewers a brief background about yourself and the work that you do?
Okay. I just want to let people know that I'm Coach Callie. I'm an emotional intelligence and neurolinguistic programming coach. I usually align the conscious state of mind and the subconscious state of mind. That's why I took both certifications. And mostly I develop programs right now. Emotional intelligence is very high in demand due to this challenges that we are currently facing in the pandemic. And I'm a corporate trainer as well and a business consultant, engaging with HR practitioners on how to improve the culture of the company amid this pandemic. So basically, that's all. That's the background I want everyone to know. I don't want to really dive down to all the details, but basically I used to work for a hospitality industry, and then now I'm caught doing something that is far from my degree. But rest assured, there's a backstory why I really took emotional intelligence, and it's a personal it's on a personal level actually.
Hmm. And would it be all right if you share that backstory of
Mhm.
transferring from hospitality industry
Okay.
to your work right now?
Okay. Actually, I already narrated this to Enya on a very personal engagement, and I would really want to share it with everyone. The reason why I took emotional intelligence firstly is because I came from a very tumultuous marriage. It was 14 years. It wasn't really a great one. I thought I found my white and knight in shining armor. I got married too early for my liking, and because of that, I ended up leaving the marriage, and it resulted into a broken marriage, and which affected my children. I have two daughters, and although my eldest was more resilient than the youngest daughter of mine was the one who was really really affected by our separation. So one day after a long day at work, I caught her on the floor, and she attempted to end her life, and it really jolted me somehow. So I rushed her to the ER, and then they had to pump everything that she swallowed, and it was a awakening call for me. And then when I
Mm-hmm.
asked her, "Honey, why did you do it? You could have talked to me." "Oh, mom,
Mm-hmm.
you were always too busy to talk to me. I knew you were a single mom, and you were working for the family, and for that, I knew that you'll be too busy for me." And I
Mm-hmm.
told her, "I'll never be too busy for you." And
Mm-hmm.
then she went to a psychiatric help, took medicines, and then from then on, I helped her recover. She did her own withdrawals from the medicines, and then from
Mm-hmm.
there, I realized that I think I should really go back to the drawing
Mm-hmm.
board of looking into the psychology of things, because my original course was child psychology. That was my original course before I went to hospitality industry. So when I gave birth, I shifted courses. So that's why the EQ fascinated me. And then now down the road, I'm really sort of like paying it forward, helping people, especially women who are single moms, women who are battered, women who are exposed to domestic challenges,
Mm-hmm.
and also children who are a victim of these broken marriages. So and then it just through my journey, I took the NLP because it's facing your past, and with facing your past, you could always cure the person, or let the person sort of like cope with whatever
Mm-hmm.
past she had or he had, and align it with the conscious state of mind. That's why I took NLP as well. So right now I'm just paying it forward. I'm promoting emotional intelligence in the workspace, especially people who are not really attuned with working at home, because of course the home is not designed for working, right? So yeah, I think that's about it, Enya. I don't want to make your audience cry over my sappy story, but at least, guys, I was really uncomfortable before telling my story, especially now in Facebook Live or YouTube channels. It's such a painful experience, but I learned to rise above it, and then
Mm-hmm.
now I'm paying it forward by helping other people as well rise above the challenge, especially in this pandemic.
Mm-hmm. And this was how many years ago, Kali?
Oh my God. I separated physically from my ex-husband around 1998.
Mm-hmm.
So more than 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when I took EQ, I'm already like around 3 or 4 years, I guess, certified.
Mm-hmm.
And for my NLP, I'm around turning 2 years, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's about it.
And how is your daughter doing now?
Oh, she's doing better now. She's
Mm-hmm.
doing much better, and we have a better relationship now.
Yes.
So now that I'm a consultant,
Mm-hmm.
we always have this now, although we had bonding times before, going out, but because of the pandemic, we we normally can't do those things anymore. So we just do the best we can in the home. So
Mm-hmm.
when she will tell me, "Mom, I'm having this episode again, and I need to talk to you." So yeah, she's doing better, but actually, she's very instrumental in my being a coach right now, because although I'm not a perfect coach, I'm not a perfect mom. Just I just want to tell you, I'm doing the best I can, much better than before, of course. But
Mm-hmm.
of course, there are times that, of course, she would have to wait before I would really have time for our me time together. But right
Mm-hmm.
now it's so funny because of the pandemic, we do house chores together, we clean the bathroom together,
Mm-hmm.
we try to cook together, like her favorite meals. And at least we try our best to adjust accordingly. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
there.
wonderful, wonderful. And
Yeah.
I agree with you. As mothers or parents generally, I believe that if we really love our children, we can never be too busy, and we can
Mhm.
always carve out some time to spend with them, just to have a short chit chat, ask how
Yes.
their day, how their day was, right?
And just to add on to that, I'm a firm believer of Gary Chapman's five love language, and
Hmm.
I was really jolted also when I found out that her love language was quality time. So
Oh, I
so
see.
I was the whole time I was thinking like it was just receiving gifts or
Mm-hmm.
complimenting her, but it that's the top score. So ever
Mm-hmm.
since then, I was very conscious of time, even if it's not. I mean, long a time that I could share it with her. I make sure it's quality. So
Mm-hmm.
we joke together. We're like barkadas. So when we had our first foreign trip in Taipei,
Mm-hmm.
Taiwan, we really had a blast together with her eldest sister. So yeah, we had a
Mm-hmm.
blast. So
Yeah.
there.
That's a good thing that you emphasize about the different love languages. I think one of
Mhm.
the reasons why we tend to compensate gifts or to give compliments to people that we love, probably that's because that's our love language, and we feel that
Mhm.
if it makes me feel good, then it must make other people good.
Yes. But I
Mm.
suggest, Enya, if you haven't taken it yet, I suggest you take it. So at
Mm-hmm.
least, usually, like me, my love language is, I just want to share it with everyone, is it's a tie between words of affirmation and acts of service. Maybe that's why I'm really doing what I'm doing. And normally, your love language would be what you want people to do for you and what you want to do for other people. So there you go.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I think I took that several years ago, and I think I also
Mhm.
have words of affirmation and acts of service
Service.
as my
Yes.
love language.
See, we're a tie. We're soulmates.
But I wonder, I'm curious, does a person's love language change over time? With the different experiences
Mm,
that you gather over the years, or does
well,
it stay the same?
well, I guess, Enya, if you took it very early on, like you took it like when you were a teenager, I guess it will change. But
Mm,
like now we're professionals, we're of age. I think it won't change anymore because I
mm,
truly embraced my love language right now.
mm,
Yeah.
mm. Awesome. Okay, but just to answer my curiosity, probably I'll take it after this after this session to see if there's any change.
Yeah, you should. You should.
All right. Now I wonder, what are the positive things, or what were the positive things that have made an impact to you as you tried to overcome those challenging times in your life?
Wow, that's a tough question. Well, actually, it really I really made a 180-degree turn. It
Uh huh.
it was really a complete reinvention of myself, because when I was small, I used to be naughty. I only care about myself. but after all these challenges, what made me survive that 14 years of our relationship that wasn't really healthy was my love for my children. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess it's I matured, not only loving myself but of course loving my children, and they were the ones who made me strong. Right now, my probably my purpose and mission in life changed as well, because it starts from within, and then you, of course, like with emotional intelligence, it's self-awareness, and then you go to awareness of others. So sort of like it's different when you see, when you help people through navigating their emotions, especially now, because as you may know, and I want the audience to know, the Filipino culture is really initially a very strong culture. Grit wise, we are very resilient, but because of the generations now, our parenting changed. So the grit that we developed way back in our childhood days was not as strong as the young parents right now. So the children that you would see today are more easily discouraged or easily depressed. So I really want to help those children. So actually, I've been coaching some kids already, who are already suicidal, and it's because of poor parenting. Parents are too absorbed in their jobs or in their businesses, and the children are not as resilient as that of our generation. So yeah, I think it really pivoted my direction to really reaching out more to families who would really need my expertise. So that's why I'm coaching, and I'm also doing mentoring for the corporate, like the workforce. So yeah, I guess it's a very in demand right now for the emotional intelligence in the workplace.
Mm-hmm. Now, you have mentioned about EQ. Do we have in the workplace? What are the competencies about EQ that we can apply in the workplace?
Okay. I guess all six core competencies can be applied. One is, of course, we start from within. That is self-awareness, being
Mm-hmm.
aware of your emotions and how you demonstrate it to your team. Because normally, if you're a leader and you show your anxiety and your stress and your frustration, it also sets the mood of your team's performance. So I really start from mastering the self-awareness, or knowing your emotions and how to process your thinking brain on how to positively respond to the event and not react to the event. So
Mm-hmm.
another one is this, as you perfect self-awareness, you go to awareness of others, because you are
Mm-hmm.
aware of your emotions. You begin to be sensitive now to the people around you. How are they feeling? Are they having depression? Are they having frustrations at work for delayed promotions or delayed gratification? A lot of reasons actually. And then another one is being authentic, being an authentic leader, being a genuine leader.
Mm-hmm.
That is very important in the workplace, because a lot of leaders right now, they wear masks. They don't show the real you, because probably it's for self-preservation, or they don't want to get hurt. So it's the core competency of authenticity is empathizing. You empathize with your team, with your colleagues, and then as you move towards emotional reasoning, you don't have any limited thinking. You have expansive thinking. So if you, for example, correct a team worker, or no, you listen first, listen to understand. I mean, we are all going through personal issues, workplace issues. So we really need to listen, listen to understand, and not be quick to judge. And then the next core competency is, which is very, very important as well, is self-management. Because when you're able to really manage everything yourself, your team, then the outcome is great as you move towards the last competency, which is positive influence, wherein you empower people. to your leadership, to your vision, to your strategy, with all the positivity. And it's it when I teach it, when you start from self-awareness to the positive influence, you empower the leader. You become an aware leader, an empathetic leader, authentic leader, resilient leader. So it's a whole thing. It's a whole dimension of really mastering the six core competencies of EQ, not only one. I guess it should be all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so these core competencies that you mentioned, from awareness of self to awareness of others up to self-management, which now brings us to having being a positive influence in the workplace. So are these the same competencies that our leaders need in the normal circumstances, or do we need additional competencies now that we are in the middle of a pandemic?
Actually, it can also be applied in a personal level, especially in the family, because right now we are all fearful. And I've interviewed some workforce employees, and they have anxiety and fear because of the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, the safety of their family members, amid this pandemic of the Delta variant. So it affects their performance in the workplace. So now, to add on to that, I think it's the adaptability quotient that's been raving lately in the trend. But if I may give my opinion on it, I may not be an adaptability quotient certified practitioner, but I guess the adaptability part is already part of EQ under
Mm-hmm.
self management, which is your resilient level. So I guess Filipino people are basically resilient. I think you all
Mm.
agree to that. We
Yes.
could innovate ways on how to cope, even if the government is really trying their best to really help the Filipino people, but they
Mm-hmm.
can only do so much. So
Mm-hmm.
if we all team together like this community pantry that
Mm-hmm.
started with a lot of locations, and it's sort of like part of EQ already in itself. So it's just like Filipino people know about the EQ already. Maybe they just don't know what core competency they're doing. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, I could relate it to the present times. Yes, to answer your
Okay.
question.
All right. Thank you for that, Kali. So now we are giving a framework or a name to the things that
Yes.
Filipinos are using or doing, not only to
Mm-hmm.
survive but to thrive amidst
Yes.
this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you mentioned earlier about thinking, so we have this emotional brain and the thinking brain. Can we have a quick discussion on that? Can you share a little
Sure.
something about that?
Actually, I'll gladly teach our audience as well, or orient them of the 6 seconds technique that I've been promoting in all my EQ classes. So normally, guys, when we are faced with an occurrence, whether it's a bad or a good event, we have a fight or flight response to it, and it's only given on a 6 seconds time frame. So it's
Mm,
either you will react to it, like run away from it, or
mm,
engage with it. For example, I give an example. If somebody slaps your face, I think the ultimate reaction of a normal person will be to slap back, or to have a verbal engagement, right? But guys, if you know the 6 seconds technique, wherein the emotional brain would would process the event itself to think, to answer the question, is it rewarding or threatening? So
mm,
definitely, if you were slapped, that's a threatening event, right? So what happens to the emotional brain if you just stick there and you don't exceed the 6 seconds time frame? It's not going to the thinking brain anymore to process further. So what happens is we react to the occurrence, which is a bad thing to do. So what I
mhm,
advise you to do is take a deep breath and try to exceed the 6 seconds and try
mm,
to transfer it to your thinking brain. The
mm,
thinking brain now will process it. So if the emotional brain says that it's threatening, then the thinking brain will say, okay, it's either you disengage or
Mm-hmm.
you take a quick break, and I will try to compose a sentence to get the feedback or to get to respond to it. That's it. So either you walk away because it's something threatening, it's self-preservation, or you will respond to it by saying like, this is an EQ person, how he or she would respond like, I know I know you're mad right now. So for now, since your emotional level is very high, I guess we'll let's just talk about it when we're all at the same neutral emotional situation wherein we could discuss this without emotions. I
Mm-hmm.
know it's hard to do. I know
It
that's very hard
is.
to
I
do.
imagine
But
it.
remember, the trick there is if you exceed the 6 seconds and you let your thinking brain process the emotion and name the emotion, you would see that your heart rate will go down,
Mm-hmm.
and as you engage your thinking brain, your emotions now will go down, and you will now activate your critical thinking or decision making. So as you activate that in your subconscious, your emotional level right now will be lowered. So you'll be able to manage now. That's why some people will just close their eyes and just take a deep breath before they reply to an impulse. So that is the best way. I know it's hard to do, it takes practice. Sometimes I'm also guilty. I'm a coach, but sometimes I get my emotions get the best out of me. But if you really practice the technique, you will be able to find it. Wow, I was able to be the bigger person. Because if you see persons that are really engaging, like in the Facebook, isn't it funny? Like, wow, look at these two people arguing over such a trivial matter. So I mean, it looks really funny. But if you see a person who is, emotionally stable in spite of a person who is attacking, you respect the person, right? That will be our reaction to if we are viewing something, an occurrence like that. So that is something that I want to teach your audience. And another one is, I want you to always name your emotions, like as it happens with occurrence. Otherwise you will be experiencing later on a condition in psychology which is termed as alexithymia. That is a condition wherein you get depressed and you get to a suicidal state already. Why does it happen? Because you bottle your emotions. You shove it
Mm-hmm.
at the back of your head, which is bad. Like for example, a lot of people are undergoing grieving right now because of all the deaths of loved ones. Now, if you don't let your emotions out and you keep it bottled up, that's bad for your body. You have to go through the process. You have to name the emotion. You have to embrace it. You have to process it. You have to let the thinking brain process it. So I've been doing some also grieving techniques for NLP for people who are having a hard time grieving as well, because the power of the thinking brain is not yet it's not yet known. As you may know, it's Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton. They were only using 1/3 of the capacity of the brain,
Mm-hmm.
and the 2/3 is still unknown.
Mm-hmm.
So it's mind over body. It's really the power of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are able to navigate our emotions positively, we activate our creative thinking, we activate our critical and problem solving thinking as well. So I guess I'm sorry I was going on and on with that, but in a nutshell, that's really what I want people to know about the importance of EQ right now in this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No worries, Kali. We're learning so much. Thank you for differentiating the emotional and the thinking brain. Because for us and for me personally, I've always thought that when it's brain, it always is associated with thinking, and with
Hmm.
emotions, it's the heart. So now
Yes.
we're saying that there's this emotional brain and there's this
Hmm.
thinking brain.
Mm-hmm. And ano, my objective, Enya, is really having your emotional and your thinking brain have coffee together. It's sort of like a balance of things, you know. You it's just EQ is basically navigating your emotions to the for the to produce positive results, not the
Mm,
negative results. That's in a nutshell. I mean, that's how I would want people to use your emotions in a positive way.
mm.
So there.
All right. So we'll go for a quick break, Callie, and then
Okay.
when we come back, we'll discuss some more.
Okay, sure.
TNC is a live stream platform of online shows for people on the go. Please watch all our shows as seen on the screen. Imagine having your own show, your own playlist, your own content, but we make it easier for you. TNC aims to transform the lives of our viewers through engaging, authentic, and original content. Our vision is to become a global 24/7 live stream channel that showcases Filipino talent, intelligence, and ingenuity. Of course, I encourage you to continue support Stories from the Fringe, live streamed every Thursday, 10:30 Philippine Standard Time. You can watch live or on replay via Facebook or YouTube. Also follow us on IG. And we heard you. Listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Just search hashtag TNC Now for TNC Now. For sponsorships, please email now at thenewchannel.com or send us a direct message. Enjoy these life-changing shows because we made them just for you. And before we forget, It's 93 days before Christmas. If you haven't bought any of the gifts or are still stamped with completing your wish list, head on over to Private Pop Avenue PH at IG. There you will be able to see unique accessories and also check out their Philippine Turno, which comes in different designs and popping colors. All right, so can we now call Kali back?
Yes, we're back.
Awesome. All right, so we were talking before we went for a short break. You
Mhm,
mentioned about using EQ during this pandemic. So all the
mhm.
more that it is important that we practice EQ in this pandemic. What is your most recent experience of a person that was helped by using EQ in this situation?
Okay. I have actually two executives friends who belonged formerly in a big company. The my wife, the girlfriend of mine, or the partner, used to
Mm,
be an AVP of a big corporation, one of
mm,
the top 5,000. And then her
mm,
husband was the sort of like the VP already.
mm.
So they both lost their jobs
Oh.
due to this pandemic because the company was not able to retain them. They had to be they had to be included in the people who were retrenched due to the high cost of the salaries. So the house that they were living in was under mortgage, and they had to pay a lot of existing loans for it. And the cars that they have were all company owned, so they were left with no cars. So just
Mhm.
imagine the pivot of what happened to their lives. So of course they had children yet to send to school. And she reached out to me and she told me about what they were going through. And she was already in a near breakdown, and she told me that, Kali, I really don't know what to do anymore. I think I've lost hope, and my husband is already thinking of ending his life. And both of them are really good friends of ours. And I offered sort of like a coaching session for her. I didn't charge her anymore for that. I just told her that I have this program that might be able to help her. So I did the Achiever Mindset program for them. It's aligning the conscious state from the subconscious. So with that, I did a lot of timeline techniques to know their past, and also to align it with the current situation that they were in. So I was able to resolve a lot of hurts that they had in the past. That's why they have a hard time coping right now, because they both belong to a family that were really well to do. So their grit when they were kids were not really formed very well. So that's why everything was always going smoothly for the both of them. So I wasn't surprised when this pandemic hit them, and it caught them off guard. Then it sort of like crushed them into pieces. So I did the EQ with them. I did also the alignment for the NLP, and then I was able to guide them what to do. So what the
Mhm.
husband did was, he did, would you believe, guys, he did Grab delivery. And my wife friend, or his wife, who is very close to me, because she's very good in cooking, she decided to cook, and then the husband will deliver the food. And then I was so happy because they were so busy, and then whatever savings they had, they were really selling on the top scale. I mean, the people who are rich, who are too lazy to cook, say they were delivering it in the posh subdivision. And wow, they started earning, and stuff like that, and they were getting on the right track, and then they were having these positive things already. And then eventually, as the pandemic was already improving, they were already thinking of putting up their own business with this food business. So they had sort of like they call this e-commerce thing set up in Facebook for the food. So they take orders, and then she widened also her selections, and then now they're doing it as a business, and they're no longer burned out. And I think it's a perfect example of how EQ and NLP help this couple, because just imagine, from a corporate top position, they lost everything, but of course they were saving, so they were able to thrive, and with the right direction and coaching, I was able to help them. So with that, I'm so happy, because she told me that, Kali, had you not suggested that I tried my cooking, I wouldn't have thought of it. And no, actually, it came from you, because when I was doing the session, it came out on all her strengths and weaknesses, and what she's really passionate about. And then I just sort of like emphasize her passion, and just redirected whatever passion she had, and then maximize the end result. So with the husband is now putting up his own as well, because he's very good in logistics. So he's planning to put up like something that would compete with Grab or Lazada or something like that, because there are only three major players. Like, we have the Food Panda, we have the Grab, and then we have the Lazada. So there's no problem putting up another fourth player, right? So I
Mm.
guess they're doing much better, and they no longer need the job, because they were able to catch up with they have savings naman. But of course, the impact is really great. When you lose your job, you lose your car. I mean, and then you have bills to pay. Of course, it adds up. But it's good that when I used to be a financial planner, I was able to help them plan their finances as well. So, yeah, I think the trust was there, and they were laughing at me before, because how did you move from a financial planner to an EQ and NLP coach? So there you go. So yeah, I think that's one perfect example of how I helped a couple really thrive in this and survive in this pandemic.
Mhm. Earlier in our conversation, Callie, you gave a disclaimer that you're not a perfect mother, you're not a perfect coach, but you just gave our viewers a perfect story of a couple who used this pandemic, somewhat a loss on their part in the beginning, but they used their strengths to be able to recover and come back stronger. Aren't you
Yes.
proud of yourself?
Yes, I am. I am actually, Anya. I'm elated, because the couple is very close to us, my husband and I, and we're gym mates, and we spin together. And when I found out her position and her husband's position, what?
Yeah.
You're a VP or a AVP, and we're bumping each other and sweating each other's hearts out, and you belong to this company. Wow, I was really shocked. And then that time I was doing, here and there consultancy. So, I was a little intimidated, but of course, I never thought, because
Mm.
she was not, she didn't look like an AVP to me.
Mm.
sorry,
So
sorry,
down to earth.
friend. You might be
Mhm.
listening, but of
Mhm.
course, she knew that, and then she told me, you fit better the position, your profile and stuff. Nah, I've been there, I've done that. I've risked the life of my daughter already far
Mm.
enough. And
Mm.
at the end of the day, it's not, God won't ask you what are accomplishment in this world, how
Mm.
much you have accumulated, but how many people you have lived. So I want to quote Mother Teresa, which is talagang close to my heart, uh,
Mm.
that it's not in the number of the
Mm.
people you have helped. It's
Mm.
really helping people each day that you can, and
Mhm.
helping the people you are closest to.
Mhm.
So I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm just paying it forward. And the satisfaction is much better than when I was in the corporate.
Mhm.
Yeah, you get rewards and recognition here and there, top
Mhm.
salesman or whatever, or employee of the year award. But when I compare it to the happiness that I see when I coach like kids right now, like
Mhm.
millennials and Gen Zs, and I see them rise above whatever depression they might have. and they're no longer suicidal anymore. And then
Mm.
I was able to bring the family together. I think, wow, I mean, that's something that is can't be taken away from me because I've been there. I've been in that position. So it's different when you experience it and when you're just a coach that
Mhm.
you never went through that. Like for
Mhm.
example, just a segue, when I coach battered women abroad, like I coach an Indian woman, I coach an Australian woman, an American woman, a British woman. I mean, we will cry and cry, but at the end of the day, when I process them and I help them and I see them being productive, and then they share
Mm.
their stories in Facebook and they tag me, oh my God, that's so priceless, Anya, because you have transformed a life of a person and
Mhm.
you made that person productive again. Because depression is something that makes you numb, it makes you
Mm.
unproductive, it stops your life, it eats you
Mm.
up, it makes you
Mm.
sick. So when you see a person transform themselves and go out of that cocoon like in a caterpillar, and they go out and become a butterfly again and fly, wow, that's the biggest, I mean, fulfillment that any coach could feel. And no money or no monetary could relate to that. So yeah,
Mm.
that's how I feel. So I guess I'm on the right track with regards to my coaching and mentoring and training. And when you receive good feedback from your participants from training, from EQ sessions, and thank you, Coach Kelly, for for these 2 days. I learned a lot. Oh my God, it makes my day. Even if I got so tired, like I was telling you earlier today, I really had 3 full days of training, and it really eats up your batteries. But
Mm.
but when you, at the end of the day, when you receive positive feedback, and that's one of my love language, which is words of affirmation. Oh my God. And yeah, I couldn't really describe
Mm.
the feeling. And I guess what you're doing in this channel, I'm really proud of you. And when you invited me, I'm so proud of you because you are really you're more aggressive than I am. I mean, you're reaching out to more. Yeah, it's true because your reach is far better than mine, because I'm more into the private reaching out. I'm not really into this kind of a scale. But
Mm.
yeah, I just want to comment on you also for this kind of a channel wherein
Mm.
your purpose and your mission is very aligned with me. And that's why I really agreed to this session. And I told you I'm camera shy. I'm not, this is, guys, actually this is my first time to be in Facebook Live. I don't even have Facebook Live in my own Facebook page. And I have my own Facebook page. It's Coach Cali Tiosejo. But I never ventured into this kind of a scale. So yeah, and yeah, my hats off to you. You're doing a good job.
Yeah, and thank you for that, Kali. I'm so touched. I'm so moved by your kind words. Uh, for those who are not familiar with me, actually, they will think that I'm this extrovert, but actually, I'm introvert.
Really? Really?
See,
I'm sure.
you're not surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, the way you laugh, because guys, I'm an extrovert. Okay, I am an extrovert by heart. So yeah, knowing Enya, I mean, actually we met in LinkedIn, guys. You might see our interaction with, like, we're really close or besties, right? But we just engage in Facebook. I in LinkedIn. So yeah, I'm surprised about that. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, I'm an introvert, so I mostly just keep to myself. So after this session, I would have to have hours of recharging my batteries.
And how do you recharge your batteries, if you don't mind sharing it with us?
Well, I recharge my batteries either by sleeping, taking a nap, by listening to
Okay.
soothing music or meditating, or
Okay.
sometimes I journal. So thank you
Okay.
so much. So actually, it's not me. I believe that it's not me who has this idea of having this show. I want to think that it was God who called me to this, because
Yes.
again, if it was only by myself, I wouldn't have done it because I couldn't even see myself. I couldn't imagine myself also doing a live stream. But opportunities came, and then I had signs from God, and it felt that everything was just smoothly coming. Like guests, when I asked them, okay, so for my viewers, this is the first time I'm sharing this.
Good.
When I was offered this opportunity by a friend, I was thinking, okay, so am I qualified? Am I not going to embarrass myself? Am I not going to look stupid when I do that? But and then when I tried to reach out to people, I asked them, are you going to guest on my show? Are you willing to share your story, your background, and your work, and how we can make our world a more diverse, inclusive, and equitable world for all? And I just sent out that email, just an email blast. And I was thinking, okay, please, at the back of my mind, please make them say no. Please make them say no, so that I would have an excuse not to pursue the idea. But then I think that I imagine God, he was smiling, wryly probably, or he was chuckling. I was saying, okay, I'm going to send these people, all 12 people that I sent the email to. They immediately responded to me and said, yes, we would be honored. We would be privileged to share our story. And I was like, okay, God, so this must be you, because if it
Yeah.
was only for me, this wouldn't have happened. And then that's the start.
Wow. I guess I could relate to what you're saying because I guess I had to go through that experience in the past
Mm-hmm.
because my the what God's divine purpose for me is what I'm doing right now, and I can
Mm-hmm.
relate to that because as a coach you cannot coach someone if you haven't gone through that experience. It will
Mm-hmm.
not come out as authentic or as genuine as you can. It's like teaching something that you have no knowledge of. You just Googled it and then just develop the module, right? So you really need to have a first touch experience. So just for the viewers out there who are probably or in denial of your depression, something that an advice that I could probably give you guys, and what I always tell my daughter. Of course, she will always have this depression episode still, in spite
Mm-hmm.
of me nurturing her and coaching her. I told her what I told her. Honey, every time that you feel these episodes, why don't you write it down? Write down how you're feeling, and then and she's a very good writer, and you compile that in a journal, and then probably make a book out of it, and then from there you could relate and help people who are depressed. Make a book out of it, and tell them how you rose above the challenge of depression. And from there, maybe that's your mission, because you write very well. So, and it will be sort of like a counseling thing for you. It will be like something that could help you also relieve yourself. And then she told me, yes mom, I'll do that. Yes, mom, I'll do that. So it helps you also recover. And when you process your emotions and you don't deprive it and you let it all out, you process it with your thinking brain, then probably your depression state will be minimized already. So I think those are my tips for people who are undergoing tough times right now with your emotions. You have a hard time navigating it and managing it. I guess you should write it down, like what Enya was saying a while ago. Her recharging time is like sleeping, taking a nap, um journaling, because it really helps. People who are depressed, when they do the journaling, it really helps. It's like a diary of your emotions, and probably you can put emoticons on your day one. It's a happy day, and you would see how you're growing. So because right now a lot of people are the emotions are all over the place, and yeah, and I can only do so much because I'm
Mm-hmm.
only one. And sad to say, not all coaches like me are really practicing it on a pro bono or whatever it is. They're more into the money driven objectives. I'm not into. Of course, we need the money, but of course, there will be times that you really need to do the pro bono once in a while. You know, when people
Mhm.
are not equipped monetarily, and I think not to lift myself up. I think that this what sets me apart from other coaches. I mean, I do it more for passion. And my mentor would always tell me for NLP, "Hi, you're doing pro bono again. How are you going to earn that?" And then he would always snag me, and then I would always tell him, it's not. I don't find not that I'm bragging that I don't need the money. Of course, I need the money too. I also have a family to feed, but basically it's you will see naman if a person can or cannot afford you or no, or you just have to adjust accordingly. But it's not, I don't do this for money, guys. I really do this to help people. I mean,
Mhm.
and then it goes back to you, Enya. You know, these people who I helped in pro bono, you'll be
Mhm.
surprised. They'll have something delivered for me, like a whole sushi platter of are you into sushi, tita? Something like that. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it goes back. Whatever you did, it goes back a lot of different unique ways. So
Mhm.
with me, I mean, I hope coaches out there, I mean, not that I encourage you. I mean, practice your EQ, practice your NLP, help more people, especially in this COVID. I mean,
Mhm.
let's not let's not do the monetary objective as a primary reason for doing this.
Mhm.
Let's go out there and use our skills, to help
Mhm.
more, do more, and be the person we are better than the to be the better person today than yesterday, as Father
Mhm.
Dave would say. So, and to add more to what Enya said, I think what I'm doing, I always pray for discernment, and I
Mhm.
think God gave me so many opportunities as well. Even if I had the pro bono, it comes
Mhm.
back to me a hundredfold. I don't I mean, and then I started and yeah, I want to share with you also. I started tithing. Before, I'm not a believer of tithing Kasi, 'di ba, for Catholics talagang you only put what you can afford. But for some religions talagang they tithe
Mhm.
talaga
Yes.
10% of your income. And when I started doing that, I mean, my God, the returns are different. It's
Mhm.
really different. I had an
Mhm.
argument pa nga with my husband because you're giving 10% of that. Yeah, but it's annoying. Do you see the projects coming in? I mean,
Mhm.
it's when you help other people and you give 10% of your income for every project that I make. I mean, it comes back. I mean, it's it's something. And I know people right now are tight right now in money, but when you share your blessings with other people, it's
Mhm.
different. I can't
Mhm.
describe it, but I really want you guys to encourage you guys, because before I'm not a believer of tithing also. Pero
Mhm.
bumabalik din naman in Tagalog. It comes back to you a hundredfold.
Yeah.
Whatever you give. So yeah, I just want to put it out there as well.
Mhm. And that's another proof that we cannot outgive the Lord.
Yes, yes, yes. And
Mhm.
he's there, and I feel him. And I know maybe there's a reason why we've known each other in LinkedIn, that he
Mhm.
had a bigger purpose for the both of us. And I hope this won't be the last time that we'll be doing a project together, and I hope
Mhm.
in the future we'll be doing more and
Mhm.
probably help more people through this channel. So yeah.
Let's claim that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for more more collaborative projects in the future and more
Yeah.
opportunities to help other people.
Yes, yes. Amen to that. Amen to that.
Yeah. Kali, this has been a wonderful time with you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, your background with our viewers in Stories from the Fringe. Now, how can they continue the conversation with you? How can they connect with you on social media?
Okay, actually, just look for me in Facebook, Kali Tiosejo. and you'll see me there with my with my cutie face. And yeah, let's hook up and let's talk.
Hmm. Thank you so much. Dear viewers, if you love today's session, we encourage you to continue watching us. Please be with us next Thursday, September 30th, again, 10:30 a.m. Philippine Standard Time. And if you love today's session, let us know in the comment section, in the chat box, what you loved about it. And also from a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how would you rate today's episode? All right. And before we go, let me thank Direct Mavin, Direct Monica, who are helping us behind the scenes, taking care of the logistics. Thank you also to our executive producer, Apple Esplana Manansala, also Cholita Esplana, one of our avid supporters. Thank you also to Rizal Ramirez, Ryan Nuya, also Lady Love Delgado. Nuya. Oh, before I forget, Lady Love Delgado Nuya. Thank you for watching, and also Hector Vergara. I'll see you again next Thursday. You have a good rest of your day or evening, depending where you are in the world. God bless you all.